This is Keep It Moving. I'm Michael Artsis.
And I'm Darrell, Reid, and we keeping it moving like a runaway train with no brakes.
That is so true. Thanks for joining us. Call us, 347-480-1724. This is the show where we talk about several topics and only have 90 seconds or less to talk about each topic.
Now, down to Miami. Are the Heat for real?
The Heat are for real. I think the better question is, are the Knicks for real with Carmelo Anthony and Billups?
I mean, Melo madness is all over. You know, they got Chauncey Billups. They beat Miami down in Miami. Are they for real now?
They are for real, not for now, for the future. The Knicks are for real for the first round of the playoffs, and that's it for this season. But Knicks fans do have something to be excited about because the New York Knicks have a bright future. Once they get a great point guard, they will be the team to beat in the East Coast. And then,
I mean, they're 2-1 since the trade. I think if they can beat Orlando tonight, they really show that they're a contender.
Listen, you can't forget about the Celtics, and those Heat players are on a roll, and they're gelled, and they're doing well. The Heat are going to dominate. The Celtics are going to dominate. The Knicks aren't going to make it out of the first round. But next year, look out.
They already beat the Heat, number one. They already proved they can beat the Heat.
Regular season. Who cares about the regular season? The Bucks could have won a game in the regular season against the Heat.
As I said, if they beat Orlando tonight, after beating Miami, down in Miami, I think they're here. They're here.
Aren't the playoffs a whole new season?
Somewhat.
Don't you turn it up a notch in the playoffs?
When is the last time the Knicks were in the playoffs?
A long time ago.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So to me, they're for real. To be back in the playoffs.
Don't you need experience? The Knicks are not for real. They're not for real for now.
You know
they are for real for the future.
They have experience. They got Chauncey Big Shot Billups. You see that three hit at the end of the game?
They need a real point guard. Who's their real point guard going to be?
Chauncey Billups. He's a veteran. They need a veteran to hold that team together.
They need like MJ. Where's MJ when the Knicks need him?
They got
Now's
Carmelo.
when they need MJ. How about Starks? Can we bring Starks back?
They got Amari. What are you talking about? They're good.
That's 60 points a game. I got the Knicks for 60 points a game between Carmelo and,
those,
Amari. I'll add 5 points for somebody else, and that's not enough. 65 points is not enough to win a game in the NBA. It's not enough. All right, let's talk about the Jets and LaDainian Tomlinson. I am sick and tired of teams giving a running back another shot after there's nothing left in the tank. Give him the one more shot, but this is a second one more shot. They should cut LaDainian Tomlinson like they did with Thomas Jones. It's bad news to keep the guy around. Great guy, really nice person, good locker room guy, but clearly he had a spark in the beginning of the season and completely disappeared halfway through. He's got nothing left. Bye-bye, LaDainian. Don't keep him around.
I'm actually happy to see that for the first time, the Jets are really obligated. They're staying obligated to their deal. You know, LaDainian has one more year left.
Why? Because they didn't do that with Jenkins or Golston.
He has one more year
Taylor.
left on his deal. He was their leading rusher last year. Obviously, Sean Green didn't prove that he was the running back that they thought he could be.
What the Jets should have done was they should have swooped in and signed Leon Washington before the Seattle Seahawks did in Washington today. And Leon Washington is now a Seahawk again. They should have gone and gotten him and given him the long-term deal he wanted and brought him back to New York because he's an excellent back and has a few more seasons while Sean Green's a dud.
He's an excellent returner. I mean, they got Tomlinson for $2.4 million base salary, couple incentives based on performance, and he was their leading rusher. You can't argue with that. I think their other running backs really need to step up and take some of the load off of Tomlinson.
The Jets needs to draft.
Well, I mean, you know, drafting the young back might not hurt them, but Tomlinson will be that veteran and show him the way.
Golden Gopher, that is, who put up 118 points in 100 games. He was then drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, moved on to the Edmonton Oilers, where last season he put up 15 goals and 32 points with 28 penalty minutes. Spent a good part of this season with the Chicago Blackhawks and is now the newest member of the Ottawa Senators. Ryan Platoni, thanks for joining us on the line.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing? It's Darrell, Reid. Exactly where were you when you got this news that you were being traded up to Ottawa?
I was in Texas, actually, in the warm weather with shorts and a T-shirt on, and got the phone call saying he's getting traded to Ottawa. And it was pretty exciting for me just because of the way that the team up here is going. It seems like they're going in the right direction, trying to get young guys and get the right kind of players in here. So I'm excited to finish the season well here and hopefully get another contract here for next year.
Do you think this is going to be like your big break up there in Ottawa?
I think it's a good chance for me. Yeah, the way it sounds, they're gonna give me every opportunity here at the end of the year to do something to stick up here and get my contract for next year. So this hopefully is a chance. I hope.
Now you're a natural center. Do you think that Ottawa's going to keep you at that position or move you to one of the wings? You certainly put up a lot of points.
Yeah, you know what? They talked to me today about what I feel comfortable playing, and I told them I can play, center, left wing, or right wing, which is kind of a good asset, I guess, for a coach to have a guy who can play the 3 different positions. It makes it a little easier for him. So I'm not even sure what they're going to do with me yet. I guess we'll find out tonight at game time.
Are there any players or coaches up there that you're familiar with, or anybody that you're excited with being teammates with or working with up there?
There's a few guys that I've played with and against. One of the guys, Brian Reid, played at North Dakota, so I played against him, and I know him. He's from Minnesota. And then Nick Foligno played with me this summer. We played in the World Championships. We played for Team USA in the World Championships together. And my brother was actually in the organization. My older brother, Grant, played with the Binghamton Senators for 3 years, which is their minor league team. So he played with a couple of the guys that are still here, so they know some of the training staff, so that made it a little easier for me too.
What about your sticks and your skates and your gloves and, getting new gloves and making sure your skates are there and, making your equipment the way you want it to be? How hard is it to make that transition and to have everything there when you arrive?
You know what, trainers in the NHL are pretty top-notch, especially the guys here. Seems like right away I got in, and they wanted to make sure that they could do any modifications to my gear, my equipment, just to make sure that everything felt comfortable and felt right for me. So they help out in that asset, and it's not too hard of a transition. I think, your skates are obviously the same, so that's not too bad. The gloves maybe the one thing that guys don't like to switch out of new gloves, but for me that's not really an issue. I go through a ton of gloves. I have 2 a game, so I like new gloves, so that's not a problem for me, but I know that's probably the biggest thing for hockey players, the gloves that feel the stick in the hands.
The Senators are down at the bottom of the basement here in the Eastern Conference, and you guys have the ability to make a move. Are you looking to make a move, or are you looking forward to next season?
No, we're trying to end this season well. We're not really looking ahead to next season yet. We have 20 games left, and we kind of talked about, just playing with energy, having fun, working hard, and trying to win some hockey games here at the end of the year.
Good luck tonight, and good luck on the ice. We're going to keep it moving.
And now we have a caller from Texas. Brad, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. A big fan of you guys.
How's it going, Brad?
We're doing great, man. How are you?
Everything's good. I have a big question for you. With the controversy surrounding the collective bargaining agreement in the NFL and taking into account the possibility that there won't be football next season, why do you think so many underclassmen have declared for the NFL draft this year?
That's a great point, Brad. I think it's something that's crazy. I think so many of these guys don't think about it when they do that, and it's something that they need to think about because they should stay in school another year. First of all, it's good for their football careers, especially given this situation with so much uncertainty. And second of all, it's never a bad thing anyway. The only problem with staying in college for these guys is that with so much money out there, if you get hurt in college and you never get to the pros, you've wasted a very valuable career and you've hurt your family and yourself. On the other hand, I don't know in this situation how you could go and declare yourself for the draft, even if you're going to go 1 or 2.
I disagree with that. I mean, you're a college player. You don't know what kind of backgrounds these kids come from. You don't know what their family needs are. And there's one thing that is guaranteed about the NFL this year, and that is the draft. So, that's the one guarantee that we have. And regardless of the lockout, I still believe that there's going to be a season next year.
I don't think there will be, and if there is, I don't think these guys will have enough time to prepare. Thank you very much for your call, Brad.
Speaking of the lockout, in less than 48 hours, it looks like it's inevitable that the players will be locked out and we won't have football, at least for the next 10, 20 days, whoever knows how long the negotiations will last.
I think it's going to go longer than 20 days. I think that we're going to have a lockout that's going to take us at least through the first 2 preseason games of the season and possibly into the first 2 games of the season. But here's the thing. It's not the players. The players will get hurt. The owners will get hurt. But the guys who will get hurt the most are the people who work in the front office who have nothing to do with playing football. Those are the guys who work so diligently and so hard off the field, like the PR staff, like the guys who cut the lawn, like the equipment guys. The concession stand people will get hurt. All these people, the accountants, are going to get hurt. The New York Jets have started to tell their employees that they're going to take mandatory furloughs, which is going to hurt these people who have been so loyal to the franchise. They're not the only team. They're the only team that's been outed so far, but many teams will start doing this. It's going to hurt these employees and their families, and I think it's completely unacceptable. These employees have been loyal.
The other thing it's going to hurt is the cities themselves. The cities put a lot of money into these stadiums and fund these stadiums, and the employees of those cities are definitely going to be affected by this lockout.
It's not going to be pretty. It's going to hurt the economy. It's going to hurt a lot of people. And I think that the owners and the National Football League, before they lock the players out who are willing to play with the current agreement, they need to think long and hard about the damage they're about to do and the public relations nightmare they're making. The New York Mets are a mess. Whether or not the Wilpons knew that Bernard Madoff was a Ponzi scheme or not is still yet to be seen. But they're being sued by the trustee for the victims of the Bernard Madoff Ponzi scheme, and the Mets are bankrupt, basically. They have no money, and they can't even make payroll. I think it's atrocious that Major League Baseball hasn't stepped in and made the Mets sell the team earlier and for more money. They borrowed money from Major League Baseball. We just found out they borrowed more money from J.P. Morgan. They can't even make payroll. How do you feel if you're a player on the team?
What I don't understand is how is it that the Mets have over $145 million salary, one of the highest in Major League Baseball, and they're over $1.6 billion in debt. That makes no sense to me.
Because they're upside down. They thought they had 4.6 in the bank, and they only have $0.
Carlos Beltran moved to right field from center field.
Oh, that's going to save them a lot. I think what they need to do is they need to get Mark Cuban or Donald Trump in there quick. All right, moving on to due date. D, I got to pick a bone with you. I watched this movie on your recommendation. I got to wonder if I can trust a recommendation from you because it was a terrible movie. Zach Galifianakis was not funny, and he should be, and he keeps playing the same character. I'm tired of it. Let's move on.
I mean, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I went to go see it myself. Actually, he reminded me of a childhood friend of mine. I told him to go see the movie, and he loved it. So I don't know what your bone is.
It wasn't funny. There were maybe 1 or 2 parts of the movie that I left. 2 hours of my life.
You got to remember how this came up. Your wife told me that you fell asleep at the wheel before
10 years ago.
And he fell asleep at the wheel in the movie.
So I have to watch the whole movie because of a scene like that?
I thought you'd be able to. I didn't want to spoil the whole thing for you, so I didn't want to tell you the part that I was telling you to watch it for.
I will let you off the hook for that. I think it's a good answer, and I got to tell you something. Because of that, I'll let you off the hook, and I will take your next recommendation, but it better be good.
In new news, Mike Tyson is getting a new show, and it's about.
I never went to school because I got bullied all the time. That's why I got involved with pigeons, because I was skipping school to avoid the bullies. My life sucked as a kid. I was just bullied all. I hate my childhood life. But you know, it is what it is.
My life sucked as a kid too. Do I get a reality show?
I mean, taking on Tyson, is pigeon racing really a sport? I really don't get it.
I love Mike Tyson. I would watch just about anything Mike Tyson does except his life about pigeons and his story with pigeons and pigeon racing. I don't get it because Tyson's exciting. And I like Tyson. I was a big fan. But to me, I can't watch this show.
I mean, but everybody's a Tyson fan. I'm happy that Mike Tyson's turned his career around, turned his life around. Forget his career. His boxing career is over, obviously. He's found something else to step into. He's got his own reality show.
I say put him back in the ring.
He doesn't know, so he can bite somebody else.
One more comeback. I think he's got it in him. No, seriously, it was great in The Hangover. Let's see him in The Hangover too. Forget about this garbage.
I learned how to calculate a pigeon race. You know, it's distance times 1056 divided by the time it took the pigeon to, and then, you know, that's yards per minute.
I think you should race pigeons with Tyson. And that brings us to sports.com, which is a great new network, and I want to tell you more about it. We've got the Rundown Daily, where you can find out about what's going on in the world of sports. In addition to that, you've got this show, Keep It Moving, every Tuesday night. In addition to that, we've got the Warning Track on Friday nights and Darrell Reid's music show on Thursdays.
The music movement, you know what I mean? So move with us. And for Mike Artsis, I'm Darrell Reid, and we're going to keep it moving till next time. Take care.